Hello everybody and welcome back to the MLS Draft to Glory with Austin FC, where we have taken all of the players that didn't join Austin FC and released them or sold them or traded them off for draft picks. In the last episode we had the Super Draft. In this episode we're diving in to the MLS. We're 5 games into the season. Let's go and see how they got on. So first up, we travelled to San Jose to take on the San Jose Earthquakers and had a phenomenal result in our first MLS game with all of our youngsters from the Super Draft. Dawson ran down the right hand side. He's one of our key players on the right, playing as an AMR in a very lopsided 4-4-2 at the moment. Laid it back to Sandoval into Danny Pereira, and our star man, who we are building this whole team around, got the first goal to make it 1-0 to Austin. Cerner came down the left into Odoricio, who we again drafted with a very high expectation from the Super Draft. Pereira put a cross in. It found its way to Dawson at the back post, and that was 2-0 to the Armadillos in green and black as Diak, the target forward. Look how big he is, an absolute giant. Laid it back to Wolf, over the top to find Mallet, the advance forward. Took a good first touch, right-footed in off the underside of the bar. What a finish to get through Burrow. The referee checked it, but it was given. Into the second half, Odoriso took a corner. He found Webb at the near post, headed it. Terrible goalkeeping from Bono. 4-0 to Austin. We weren't done there. Whitehead laid it into Wolf. Wolfhead, good touch on the head, back to Whitehead. In it went to Pereira again. He's involved in a lot of stuff this year, and it's an own goal from Campbell just to really rub it in for San Jose. But we weren't done there. Odoriso came down the left, cut it back to Wolf. Wolf took a good touch onto his right foot, laid it off to Pereira. Pereira on the edge of the area, rifled it past Bono. 6-0 to Austin FC. The second game of the season was not to be as fruitful as we travelled away to New York to play on New York City FC, and they took the lead through Bakar firing past Marriott in goal to make it 1-0 to the home team. And New York are a very, very good team. Dawson did pick up a loose ball and did get us back into the game quite quickly, to be honest. Inside half an hour, squared it there. It was a good finish from Mallet, and it was 1-1 before we knew it. But New York City FC came out firing. Webb tried to clear the ball, didn't put a good ball up towards Mallet. Pereira turned, lunked it over the top towards Ajeda, and they just absolutely battered it past Marriott. And then to secure the win, New York City FC got a third goal from that one. Thiago Martins found the midfielder into Keaton. He took his time, dinked it over the top. Great run from Ajeda, squared into Mijatovic. 3-1 New York. DC United then travelled to Texas to take us on, and we were disappointing at home. We had one shot on target in this whole game, and DC United scored the only goal of the game with 5 minutes gone. It was a poor game all round. And the loss at home to DC United was compounded with a loss at home to Portland Timbers, which was very disappointing. We scored first through target forward Diak, which was a very nice goal. But then we got a man sent off and the whole game went to pot. Really, Portland Timbers absolutely destroyed us, which has prompted a change of formation for after this game. But back-to-back home losses as Lassiter fired it past Marriott was pretty disappointing. We had the lead for about 4 minutes, and then it was in the second half when Portland Timbers actually took control of the game. Evander, good football, laid it back to Due. His shot was slightly deflected off Dawson, but fired past Marriott anyway to make it 2-1 to the Timbers, and they weren't done there. Lassiter got the better of Bentley on the wing, cuts this one back to Evander, who is one of the better players in MLS, and Evander fires it low and hard past Marriott. A very good finish to make it 3-1, and they had one final goal in the 94th minute as Bravo came forward into Evander, dinks it over the top. Kelsey breaks the offside trap and makes it 4-1 to the Portland Timbers. So with a change of system, we took on Nashville, and it was Danny Pereira who fired it home from the penalty spot right after half-time to give us a 1-0 lead. A long ball over the top to find Dayak, our target forward. He brought it down well. Terrible marking in the middle. A square pass was easily stuck home by CJ Burton. 2-0 Austin, back on the winning streak. And that is where we currently stand. So 2 wins, 3 losses, and a goal difference which doesn't make any sense at all. We have I think it's a +2 goal difference, even though we've lost 3-1, 1-0 and 4-1. We've won 6-0 and 2-0, which is just absolutely bonkers. But we do have Orlando City coming up in this episode, and if we have time, we'll do the Real Salt Lake game as well. Obviously, there's nothing to touch on with transfers. Absolutely nothing has happened. There was a trial offer from New York Red Bulls for Graham Odoriso. We said no to that one. In terms of the squad, we managed to register everyone. So we haven't lost anybody on waivers yet. Not too sure what happens when Casson comes back from injury, because he's not actually registered yet, because he's not at full fitness. So we may lose someone, and I'm leaning towards letting the people go that were already at the club, to be honest. So someone like Brian Farquhar, and although we gave him a new contract, we didn't draft him. He was signed from the US colleges, which we assumed was a draft. It just wasn't. It was drafted actually as the second round pick in 2024. So okay, we can't get rid of him because he was actually drafted. Brian Arellano, was he actually drafted? No, he doesn't have anything, and he came from San Antonio, but through our academy. So potentially he could go, although he's got really good potential, so I don't want to. We'll deal with that when it happens. But we started the season with a strange formation, as I said. We've gone to a 4-2-4, which if you've watched the channel and watched me on stream, you'll know I love a 4-2-4 in Football Manager. And we've actually, weirdly, drafted a squad which is perfect for a 4-2-4 as well, which is really good. But we didn't start with that. We actually started with, if we go to the San Jose game, a lopsided 4-4-2. So we had a holding midfielder and an advanced winger on one side, and then two sort of more balanced on the left. And it worked really well to pull people aside. Like Dawson on the right and Mallet as the advanced forward linked up very well together on that side. It produced a lot of space for Dayek to sort of link the play with Odoriso. We overloaded the right as well when we made some changes because Odoriso came off, I think, in this game. Oh, no, it was in the next game that he came off. But we used that system a few times through here. Then we changed to a 4-3-3 DM wide to try and get a formation. Then we used a 4-2-3-1 to try and get a result. That didn't help either. A 4-1 loss in the 4-3-3 DM wide. 4-1-3-2. What am I saying? We're this side, aren't we? In the 4-1-3-2. And then a 4-2-4 is what we just got our 2-0 win with against Nashville. Now, we are mixing it up a little bit because we do have a 3-4-2-1 or a 5-2-3, however you want to create it or describe it, where we just, if we have a lead, a 2-0 lead, we just change this and try and hold possession, obviously towards the end of games, because at the moment it puts Logan Mallet at centre-back. But generally we are trying to do this. I'm thinking about having like an ultra-attacking tactic as well. Part of me was sort of like, we could make this into a good challenge where I'm only allowed to use the generic system. So this is a 5-2-3 DM wide control possession generic system. I haven't changed anything. So if you'd like to add that into this, because I want to make this a little fun save, right? I don't want this to be like just go out there and win everything. I wouldn't have done a draft to glory where I've sacked and released everybody if that was the case. But let me know. Do you want to see this as a bit of a challenge when we only use the basic tactics and then we can tweak them in game and stuff like that when we come back to show it? Let me know your thoughts. In terms of players that are wanted in our team, Connor Dawson is the only one at the moment, with San Jose and DC United after him. We have had a little bit of interest in Joe Whitehead, who he was getting rested for the last game, but no more news on him in terms of interest. But generally, I am very happy with the squad that we've drafted, and it is proving to be a decent squad with decent rotation options. So I'm very happy to see how it goes. So let's get into the game against Orlando. I'll go and pick the team and we'll be back for the intro bit. Okay, here we are then in Austin, in Texas, and Orlando City have travelled from Florida to come and play it. It's a 4-2-4. We've got Daniel Pereira in there as a Segundo Volante pushing up. Owen Wolf is a holding midfielder, but potentially we might make him a roaming playmaker just to get another man forward. We're heavily reliant on Connor Dawson and Odoriso as our wingers to be heavily involved in the game and to make something happen. So the teams come out at the Q2 Stadium in Austin. It is a big old stadium, and hopefully one day I'll get to go there. Who knows? But yeah, I've got an affinity to Austin that we'll probably touch on later on in this series, I imagine. That's a good header. Arejo goes back to Janssen. Janssen has it here. Out it goes to Ojeda. Jada, by the way, Orlando City's kits, I absolutely love them. I was very close to doing this series with Orlando because I love their purple kits and I really like their away kit as well that they're wearing here. But you can see they've got an overload here as Totland gives it into Tulio. Tulio comes forward down the right, lays it back into Totland. Totland goes back to Arejo, into Hilaro again. Obviously, Orlando City at one point had Kaká, didn't they, in the MLS? He was their designated player when Kaká was... great save from Marriott. What a save. When Orlando City were going big on a player, I think it was when they were the new franchise and Kaká was their big signing, i.e. like when Messi joined into Miami, right? As Ojeda has a corner. We may have to speed this up one notch because... we're going a little bit slow here. Webb heads it away. It's kept alive. Kessler, Augustini and Marriott with another big save. We are on key highlights as well. So it's a lot of pressure from Orlando City to start as Totland lines up the corner for the Florida team. I was going to say Floridician. That's not a word. Marriott with a good catch though. Cerner with a free kick just into the Orlando half. Pereira goes back to Whitehead. Whitehead just holds on to the ball. Lays it off to Webb. Webb goes up to Wolf. This is our best team we can probably put out. Maybe Trulio at centre-back in there instead of Whitehead, but I do think Whitehead is the better centre-back. That's a lovely ball. Odoriso's got an overload. Odoriso's in. Is he going to shoot? He does shoot. He hits the post, and Kessler clears it away. Good header from Sandoval, but Olaru will try and break for Orlando as Olaru's just held up really well. We've got numbers back and dealt with that. Really good play from Odoriso. Couldn't get the goal. So 27 minutes gone and it's Orlando City on the attack again. Good tackle from Sandoval but loses out. It's Medina just outside the 18-yard box into Orejo. Going to put a bit of pressure on him there but couldn't quite win it back. Kessler looks over the top. It's a really good ball into Totland. Heavy touch and Cerner picks it up and hopefully doesn't do anything too stupid. Marriott gets it away. It is flicked on and Mallet's going to pick this one up. And now Logan Mallet has a lot of pace. And he looks inside to the target for Dyak, a long way out, lays it off to Dawson. Can Dyak now get back in the ball and get his head on this? Dawson, low cross, it's bouncing around. It was a good save from Galese, and we're trying to keep the pressure on Dawson. Dyak, great first touch, Dyak's in. Oh, what a goal from big Mauricio Dyak. What a touch that was to go round the defender as well. Look how tall he is compared to everyone else. He is going to be a threat this season, and I haven't turned replays on. Replay events, goals. That's all we care about, to be honest. I should probably do offside goals as well. Disallowed goals. Let's just do disallowed goals like that. We're ticking down to half time, 1-0. Right, half time, 1-0 up. That's our only shot on target. Orlando City have been the better team. We have hit the woodwork as well, but at the moment, I'm relatively happy with how this is going. So let's outstretch our arms, say that we're happy and try and get back out there. I don't think we'll change into our control possession system yet, although Logan Mallet isn't having a great game and we're not in control, but we're going to give it a little bit longer and then we may look to bring on a centre-back for the striker to try and just keep possession and keep it ticking over because the match momentum is very much in Orlando City's favour. Okay, 66 minutes gone and we've got a highlight. I was about to pause it and make some substitutes, but Orlando City get the ball back to Ojeda and it goes to Medina. Oh, we had a swing and a miss of the ball there. Augustini holds it up, goes back to Orejo with a shot, clips the top of the bar, and it will be a goal kick. We are really having nothing in this game. So I do think we are going to change now. We're going to drop to our control possession. Logan Mallet's going to come off for Selvin Trulio. Whitehead will sit at the back. Trulio on the left. Webb sitting on the right-hand side. Sandoval, Wolf and Pereira will swap round because Wolf is the better roaming playmaker of the two. Cerner on the left. Odoriso can stay on the left wing. Dawson on the right. Dyak is up front having a good game. I'm wondering, do we go target forward on support? I do feel like that would make more sense because I want you to be a bit of a focal point. So I think we'll go for that whilst he is up there. Odoriso is very, very tired. Having an okay game. Let's get our Brazilian Otaquilo on, who is a left-footed Brazilian left winger. And hopefully this will allow us to just have a bit more possession and control the game as Webb goes back to Whitehead. What I like about this control possession system is that if a team is attacking you a lot, it does allow you to keep the ball and sort of make it... That is not the time to lose the ball like that so stupidly when I'm talking about keeping the ball. But it does allow you to keep the ball and sort of exploit it when teams are attacking you a little bit more. So Webb up to Sandoval. We have got that space on the right-hand side. And Sandoval's a good little player. Sandoval, oh, great little touch to go round his man. Sandoval, Dyak, get in the box. There's the cut back to Pereira. Pereira out to Cerner, the left inverted wing back into Pereira again. Drops it back to Whitehead. Just like, look at this, controlling the ball. It wastes a bit of time and we're probing, passing. Dyak, great turn. Dyak from range. Oh my word, it was a lovely effort from the target forward. But yeah, 20 minutes to go. That's better. We want the momentum while we got the win 1-0 and to sort of calm the play down. We're going to bore teams into a win, hopefully. Okay, 10 minutes to go. A few tired legs coming out here. Pereira is tired. He's our best player, but we're going to bring him off for Shane Toves in the holding midfield row, who, for some obscure reason, has the number 9 shirt. We're actually going to do a double replacement in the holding midfield role as well. So I think Toves is tackling 14, passing 7. Yeah, I think I've got those the right way around. Johnson passing 9. They're both sort of defensive, so we're going to hold our shape a little bit and just go double DMs in here, because I just think that's a little bit better to do. We've got 1 sub remaining, so let's do... what do we want to do? Sandoval's having a good game and isn't that tired. No one's really knackered. So maybe we leave it. I could change this. Yeah, let's take off Dyak for Fodry because he's got a bit more pace, and we'll go back to a complete forward. Just because Fodry's a bit more mobile to run the channels, so I think a complete forward sort of makes sense like that. It will give us a little bit more of a mobility up there than Dyak for a bit more of a counter-attack. 5 minutes to go. Okay, time's ticking away. The change to control possession with a few more defensive players seems to have worked. We could be picking up a valuable 3 points, and we do. It's a 1-0 win over Orlando. We got the goal. We saw out the game. Lovely stuff. So as ever in Football Manager, after you play a game, you rest your first 11, right? So they're ready for the next one. We've got 6 days until we take on Real Salt Lake City. That leaves us 6th in the Western Conference. And in the Supporters Shield, it puts us up to 9th, actually, which isn't too bad. The board, just to show you the board requirements, they want to avoid finish bottom of the MLS, attempt to finish bottom of the Supporters Shield, and be competitive in the US Cup. So, as a relatively new team in the MLS, this is pretty decent. Continue to avoid finishing bottom, continue to avoid finishing bottom, continue to avoid finishing bottom. They have really no objectives. They just wanted to grow the club's reputation. Probably not going to be able to do that because we're not signing big name players, but I do hope that we can. Yeah, it's going to be interesting when we start getting big offers for these players and we have new draft players come through. And obviously our B team at the moment has literally just a goalkeeper in it, so we do need to keep thinking about that as well. Like if we go here, it's got more than a goalkeeper. It's got 3 goalkeepers. They're playing Brad Stuvar at holding midfield, which is just hilarious. But we're trying to sell Van Ryan, Stuvar and Cervantes, and the board won't allow me to release them on a free because they're too valuable. But the contracts all expire at the end of the season. David Smith is the 3rd choice goalkeeper that we drafted, of which a lot of you said in the comments,
why on earth wasn't your last pick the 3rd choice goalkeeper?
I panicked, all right? I panicked. I didn't know what to do, and I needed a 3rd choice goalkeeper. So, yeah, he's gone down to the affiliate team to help out down there. Let's go and play Real Salt Lake City, and then you can leave a little comment down below to say if you're enjoying this style of video, because it is different from my Youth Academy challenge. So let me know your thoughts. Oh, yeah, I completely forgot. As well as getting rid of all of our players and all of the sort of non-draftees that we brought in, we got rid of every single staff member as well and had to start afresh. So we've brought in the perfect mentality staff. I've not looked at... I wanted to try something and I thought this is a great save to do it in. What we've done is brought in 7 brand new coaches and gone with the likes of Jari Litmanen, who is a model citizen, not the best attributes. Michael Bradley, a perfectionist, not the best attributes. Diego Lugano, a perfectionist, not the best attributes. Junior Cassiada, a perfectionist with not the best attributes. Darnell King, a perfectionist with probably the best attributes we've got, but great improvement going on over there as well. And Verzaushko, who used to be the right back for Atletico Madrid, a perfectionist. So we've got coaches who are absolute perfectionists, but not the best at their trades. Because I think we've also done the same with Lars Hirschfeld, by the way, model citizen as a goalkeeper, not the best coach. My thoughts is that these guys, Davy Arnaud was already here. So if you've got a assistant manager recommendation, let me know down below. I thought he's pretty good, so I don't want to get rid of him just yet. But when his contract expires, we may look to get a new assistant manager. But yeah, what I thought was that how much is it dependent on your personality of the coach to see if it sort of rubs off on the players, how quickly they improve. And I do think, was it Darnell King that shows, yeah, I mean, if they get on a coaching course, they do improve quite quickly around what they need to do. Like that's mental, that improvement. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it on the staff and things like that. If you've got people you want to recommend for me to go and hire, then please let me know down below. I'm looking for great personality coaches, assistant managers, goalkeeping coaches, fitness coaches, things like that. So anyone you want me to go and look at, let me know in the comments below. Okay then, Real Salt Lake are the visitors to Austin this time, and we are sticking with the same system and the same players. They're lining up in a 4-4-2 with Carlos Vela up front. Used to play for LAFC, didn't he? Or so they maybe have they signed him recently actually? Because I swear they got him on a free transfer in 2023. Yeah, there you go. So Carlos Vela still knocking around for Real Salt Lake City. Brian Vera at the back there. They've got Goncalves. Vasilev, who used to play for Aston Villa, if I serves me right, it does. He used to play for Aston Villa. 4 games in the Premier League, and I remember who he is. He moved from Cheltenham to Inter Miami. What an interesting career path that is for Vasilev. Anyway, yes, let's go and take on Real Salt Lake City. The two teams are out. It's another home game for the Austin fans, and we're looking to build on that 1-0 win against Orlando and see what we can do in this game. It's an early highlight. Dawson into Dyack. Back to Wolf. Wolf comes forward with it. It's a good ball down the line to Dawson. Dawson just looks to hold it up. Lays it back to Sandoval. Sandoval into Dyack. It looks maybe offside. Gives it back to Dawson. Dawson comes in there. Low cross. Pereira's there. It's a fantastic start for Austin, who take the lead over Real Salt Lake City, who are currently second in the Supporters' Shield. So Austin FC off to a fantastic start. And we don't have like work ball into the box or just cross it low. This is like we have mixed crosses. And actually, I have crossed more often on a few more players, because I like getting crosses into the box when I've got such a big man. But I'm not going to be disappointed with a goal like that. That is superb. Pereira, captain, with the free kick into Mallet. Mallet shoots. Oh, it's just past the post. Cabral was stretching, but it's a great start for Austin FC. Free kick then. Diogo to take it. Diogo Goncalves swings it into the back post. Whitehead with a really good header, and Odoriso is going to try and launch a counter-attack here. We do like to play on the counter. We don't counter-press, but we do counter. Odoriso, low cross in. Mallet there over the bar. Really should do better. It's a really good opportunity wasted by the striker. Corner. Diogo Goncalves to take it again. Swings it in towards the back post. Marriott comes a long way, and the Generation Adidas goalkeeper claims it really, really well. And you can see we're just letting our players take our time, get into our shape, into our system. Balls it out to Webb. Webb goes out to Sandoval, who's a good little player at right back. Into Webb again, into Pereira, into Wolf. Good football. Moving it around quickly, although Wolf takes too long. Pereira. Up it goes to Logan Mallet. Logan Mallet, heavy touch. And he is probably the weak point of this team at the moment, Logan Mallet. They go all the way back to the goalkeeper, Rafael Cabral. A big, long ball that Whitehead wins the header. Good header. Sandoval isn't going to get that one, though. Diego Goncalves picks it up down the left, but lays it back. Can Wolf get there? We nearly got there. Ojeda got there first, though. Into Yevs. Over the top. Sergio Santos is in. Left-footed volley. Really good finish. And that is 1-1 after 24 minutes. Real Salt Lake City find themselves back into the game. And it was a good goal, to be fair. We had a couple of chances to get the ball. Wolf sort of didn't do well there. Ojeda took over. Give it back to Varela. Right-footed ball over the top. And Santos with a really good left-footed placed finish into the corner. 1-1. Throw in. Brown gives it to Carlos Vela, just hoists it towards the back post where Cerner can head it away. Out it goes to Ojeda. Ojeda on the edge of the box. Marriott, big save. Turns it round the post for a corner. Not too sure how much he knew about where that was going, but two strong hands behind it. As Diogo Goncalves is going to take this corner again, and it's Real Salt Lake City piling on the pressure. Really good header from Webb. And Santos will try and keep this one alive. Not too sure what they're going to do with it here. Back to Ojeda. And yeah, nothing really happens. But they're edging the momentum at the moment. We need something to turn this game around. Cabral goes long with it again. We have got quite a big physical team. So I'm not expecting us to lose too many headers. That's a wonderful ball through from Vasilev into Santos. Marriott with another huge save. And all those people saying it shouldn't have been my first draft pick. What do you think now? He's the difference maker at the moment. Vea with a corner in. Webb with a header away again. Dawson will show good pace to get there, and we could counter here. because Dawson is very, very quick and very, very pacey and fit on the ball. As he's shown too much of it to Palacio. It'll be a throw-in. Half an hour gone. End-to-end game at the moment. We're just not really making the most of it. Okay, half-time 1-1. We're not having a look. The XG is pretty equal, to be honest. We've had 2 clear-cut chances and only scored 1 of them. But Real Salt Lake are having much more of the sort of shots on goal. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to mix this up. And we are going to change Wolf to a roaming playmaker, because it should allow both central midfielders to get a bit more forward, which is something I'm a bit more interested in. I'd really like Cerner to let's cross the ball a bit more often as well. We're actually going to say to cross it from deep. So these boys back here don't need to run too far out of position before crossing the ball. Odoriso, obviously as wingers on attack, will have cross more often and cross from byline as well. So yeah, I don't mind that. That's pretty good. We need it to try and find Dyak, who's going to drop in and link up play, but hopefully can then get back into the box. We're keeping an eye on Logan Mallet again, because he's not having a great game, and this would be second one in a row where he's not playing brilliantly. And we have a good number of strikers. Obviously, I could have had a lot more if I drafted it with everyone that I'd shortlisted, which happened to be strikers. But yeah, 50 minutes in, we've got a throw in. Cerner into Odriso. There is an early cross, and it's easy for Cabral to hold on to that one. The other thing we could do is put our wingers to support and put Dyak as a target forward on attack to try and have him up there as a bit more of a focal point. Good header from Webb into Wolf, who picks it up into Pereira. That's a good ball to Dyak, into Wolf, the roaming playmaker, good ball through to Dawson, into Dyak. Dyak's there, Dyak, he's got another one. I think he's onside as well, his 3rd goal of the season. It's a wonderfully crafted goal from Austin FC, especially with the roaming playmaker getting involved as well, and the Segundo Volante. He's just a little bit higher up the pitch, isn't he? Dyak lays it back to Wolf, he's involved. I mean, Vera should have done better. Dawson read it well, into Dyak, and yeah, really good goal from the big man. 2-1, lovely. 55 minutes gone, another free kick to Real Salt Lake City. They're getting a lot of set pieces, and it's Diego Goncalves. Can he curl this one round the wall? He does, but into the side netting. And I feel like we're just going to make another change here. We're going to, or a change. Sandoval's going to come off to be replaced by Liam Bentley at right back. We are picking up a few yellow cards in here, so let's take off, get stuck in. We're not going to worry too much about that, because we're giving away a lot of free kicks and picked up a couple of yellow cards. I don't think we're going to change system just yet. So Logan Mallet's going to come off for CJ Foddery again for a bit more pace, fresh legs up there, give the defenders something to think about. But you can see from our passing maps, right, the wing play we do is really good. We are controlling the ball on the wings, which is what I want to do. Ideally, it is what I want to do. But yeah, 67 minutes gone, 2-1 up. Free kick, Diego Goncalves for Real Salt Lake City swings it in. Wolf is, oh my word, Wolf's had an absolute shocker. It's bouncing around. Wolf with a terrible header. I'm pretty sure he's on a terrible match rating as well. So we are now going to change. There's 14 minutes to go. So Fodry can go up front as the complete forward. Dyak will swap there. Dyak then comes off to be replaced by, where is he? Svelin Trulio. Out there. Wolf and they're both tired in central midfield again. Wolf off for Toves, Johnson on for Pereira. Both of them can sit in here as a defence midfielder on support, just to give us that solid sort of base back here. And then do we change both wingers for a counter attack? Both of them are quite tired. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all of our subs. So that is what we're going with to see out this game, hopefully. Just close it down back into our 5-2-3 system, which does appear to be working to shut games down. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Real Salt Lake, we've definitely had a better second half by making both of our holding midfielders a bit more aggressive. Right, they've just gone to a similar system, but what we're going to do is go opposition instructions. Don't let their wing backs basically get on the ball. So, no, we don't need to tightly mark him. That's definitely... we could do, actually, because we have got wide wingers out there. Trigger the press, tackle them hard, show them onto their weaker foot, and do the same with Vera as well. So always hard and weaker foot. And then let's go into our players. And why are you still going on in the background? Pause that. Inside forward, edit it for the position, edit mark specific position or mark specific player. This is our AMR, so we want him to mark the wing back left, right? Like that. And then our AM left We want him to mark the wing back right. Why is it saying that he should mark? Why should our man on the left mark their wing back left? That doesn't make sense in my head, right? Our left should mark their right. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do none, and I'm going to do our AML left should mark their wing back right. I'm going to do it like that. And our... Yeah. Our AMR should mark their wing back left. Just to try and stop their wing backs getting into the game at all, because that's where this sort of 5 at the back system with the no wingers in front of them just relies on wing backs. So there we go. We're ticking down into injury time. It could be back-to-back wins in our first live games of the episode, and it is of the series, I should say. Real Salt Lake with more shots on target, but we have seen that game out. Lovely stuff. A 2-1 win. Daniel Pereira and Mauricio Diak. Lovely stuff. So there we go. 6 points in 2 games, both games at home. Lovely stuff. Sees us climb to 3rd in the Major League Western Conference and 5th in the overall Supporters Shield, which is absolutely superb. Very, very happy with that. Key players, I think, in today's episode. I think Diak, the striker, the big tall striker, doing a really good job up there as well. And of course, I'd have to have a shout out to Danny Pereira in central midfield. Very, very good for us, looking to build the team around him. Only 24 years old. He now has interest in him from New York City. We'll be batting that off as best we can. And a big shout out to Maria in goal. Jack Maria, our first draft pick. The Generation Adidas goalkeeper, having an absolutely superb game. Let me know your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you're enjoying it. Subscribe if you're new. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers.